Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, what we have today with us is Mitsubishi's new Triton. Now, the new Triton was recently launched in South Africa, and as you can see, it's bolder, it's wider, it has a new engine, as well as many other features I'll mention to you during this review. So, does it have what it takes to compete with its arch rivals, the Ford Ranger, the Toyota Hilux, the GWMP series, and many other more bakkies in Mzansi? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Stay tuned for more. Now, as per usual, we're going to be starting off with the design and styling of the Mitsubishi Triton. Now, this one that you're looking at here is one of the special edition models. It is the Edition 46, and it is the range-topping model, and it sets itself apart from the rest of the range with its unique styling and equipment. So, in terms of design, we have a wider uh, stance, which is 50 millimeters wider than the outgoing Triton. And then we have a bold look over here at the front end. So highlights include this Mitsubishi dynamic grille, which is quite prominent, and you have the Mitsubishi logo right there at the center, Mitsubishi lettering on the center, which is bold and prominent as well. And then you get this full set of LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and then LED headlights which are split. You also get this quite thick chrome accent there, which is a nice contrast. And then moving lower to the front bumper, you get parking distance control sensors as well as LED fog lights. Now, the Edition 46 sets itself apart on the front end with this nudge bar with Triton badging on the center. Now, in profile, the new Triton is quite long in person, and in fact, it measures just above 5.3 meters long, and which is on par with the likes of the Ranger and the Hilux, so on and so forth once more. So, some highlights in profile include this all-terrain 18-inch wheels wrapped with Dunlop Grand Track all-terrain tires, and the rim design, I quite like it. It looks quite elegant, especially in this light gray gunmetal coating that it has going on there. Other highlights include this mirror cap, which is contrasting in chrome and has an integrated LED for your turn signals. And because this is the Edition 46, you get this nifty little sunshade which stretches along the front all the way to the rear. And then you get functional roof rails here, which is coated in gloss black. And because once more this is an Edition 46, there's a padding inside the door handle so that you can prevent it from scratching the paint when you're opening it. And the door handle is in chrome, and it has auto lock and unlock. And once more, because this is the Edition 46, you get a canopy right here with a roof rack on top to hook your accessories or travel gear. And there's quite a few nifty other items in there, and then we'll get to that after checking out the rear. Let's go. Now, moving towards the rear, there's nothing really special to write home about because this is the Edition 46. You do get this 4x4 Super Select 2 Edition 46 badging right here, which is quite small. And then at the rear, you get these LED and bulb combination tail lights, and then you get chrome accents for the badging on the center, the handle, and the Triton lettering on the lower part of the tailgate. You do get also a contrasting lower front bumper in light gray with integrated parking distance control sensors. Now, interestingly, Mitsubishi placed the camera towards the left hand side. Usually manufacturers place it right there on the center to make it easier for you when you trying to hook up a trailer or caravan. And speaking about hooking up trailers and caravans, the Mitsubishi Triton has a braked towing capacity, I beg your pardon, of 3,500 kilograms, which is on par with the likes of the Ranger and Hilux once more. And then opening it up, you have to open this canopy door first. So all you have to do is press these two buttons. But before we do that, as you can see right here, the windows all around are heavily tinted, and in front of it or underneath it there is a fence just to prevent theft of whatever you might have stored on your load bed. So let's open it up. I have it unlocked, so all I have to do is press these two buttons to release it, and then you have springs over here to keep it upright. And then to open your tailgate, all you have to do is do that, and then you also have springs over here just to make it fall down much smoother. And then over here we have your load bed, which has been rubberized for the edition 46, and you have a payload capacity of just over 1,000 kilograms. And you also have a kitchen table over here mounted on the roof of the canopy, and there's other accessories as well here, a small onion kitchen for you to put your cooking gear, including your portable gas stove, so that you can cook while you're camping and doing other stuff as well, which is quite thoughtful of Mitsubishi. Thumbs up for that. Now, it wouldn't be fair of me to tell you all about the kitchen sets and all of that nice things without actually showing you. So I have these unlocked once more, so I'm gonna press them to reveal this modern kitchen of yours. So yeah, this is it. You have your own little kitchen here. You can place your portable stove, which I did. Those who follow me on Twitter and Instagram would have seen me sampling it. And you do get a tray inside for your cutlery, and here you can place your plates or your food, your oil, and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is quite a nifty feature, especially when you are into the whole adventure lifestyle. So overall, what do I think about the design and styling of the new Triton? Well, design has always been a subjective topic. A lot of people have said they don't really like the styling. They think it's overly bold. And for me, it just works. It just stands out from the rest of the bakkie range that we have in South Africa. And the Edition 46 styling just gives it that groteman, that worm kind of look. And yeah, man, I quite like it, especially with the canopy and these all-terrain tires. It just gives it that I'm a serious adventurer kind of vibe. So yeah, man, tell me what you guys think about it. Hello and welcome to the interior of the new Triton. When compared to the outgoing Triton, this one is much better, and the interior appointments are quite decent. The tech is okay, but when you start comparing it to its arch rivals, the Ford Ranger, the P series, and even the P500, I mean, they just blow it out of the park in terms of the luxury feel and the tech and so on and so forth. But it's not quite bad for a bakkie. I mean, you have leather seats right here, which are quite comfortable and supportive. You have perforations on the
seat back, but it's not heated nor is it ventilated. On the door panels, you do have some nice contrasting stitching running along the panel. There's a gloss black insert on trim or design there on the door panel as well as the center console, and that doesn't make sense because gloss black gets quite scratchy and you interact a lot with the center console and the door panel, so it will get scratched quite soon. In terms of the dashboard, you also get some nice contrasting stitching in white. You get this lovely leather steering wheel which has perforations also, and it is 3-spoke multifunctional. There's physical buttons, and then before it there's a semi-digital instrument cluster which has a small sized screen there which you can configure to your liking to display the information that you wanted to display. And then moving over to the center of the dashboard, you have physical climate control buttons which are piano like, and which is welcomed also because there is a migration to integrating the buttons into the infotainment screen, which is a bit of a faff, especially when you're driving along a stretch of road and you just have to take your eyes off the road for quite some time to increase or decrease your air conditioning. So with that said, we also have a small sized infotainment screen here which also supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and I quite like it. The graphics are quite decent as well, but the infotainment system itself is quite laggy. And with that said, yeah, the infotainment system is user friendly as well. It's easy to operate also on the move, and you also have physical knobs here on each end of the screen to control your media and increase and decrease your volume as well, which is also welcomed. So that is the cockpit. Let's hop over at the back and see, and I'll tell you about my impressions. Okay, hopping over to the rear bench, I am sitting behind my driving position. I'm 182 centimeters tall and I have sufficient footroom, headroom, as well as knee room, and I can actually sit quite comfortably on a long drive, let's say down to Durbs or wherever. A few highlights for me: it is quite plasticky here. There's not much premium appointments apart from these leather seats, of course, and you also have a nice grab handle here to hold on when you're going off-roading, and there's some side pockets over here on the passenger seat which can store some cell phones or whatever you want to store in there. And one thing that is quite impressive is that, let me actually show you this, and it is a roof mounted air vent for your air conditioning, and usually they place them down here, but this one is being placed here on the roof, which makes sense because the air will actually blow into your face quite quickly and just cool you up or warm you up depending on the settings. And yeah, I quite like it. It's quite logical and it makes sense, and of course you can adjust the vents by doing so. And then over here you can increase or decrease your fan speed, and also you can switch it on and off, and it has been integrated with this rear light for you to see at night and so on. So yeah, also you have a 12-volt socket over there, and then you have 4 USB slots in total in the car. There's 2 at the back, USB-C and USB-A, and at the front as well there's also the similar setup. So yeah man, with that said, it is quite a lovely cabin to be in, and I am really not mad at it.
So underneath the bonnet, we have a newly developed 2.4-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine, and it's newly developed because Mitsubishi integrated a new a turbocharger to help eliminate turbo lag when pulling away. Now, this engine is also paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission, and this is how it drives.
So welcome to the driving impressions of the new Triton. At launch, they said there will be 2 engine choices, and this one is the most powerful one you can get. It's the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine I've told you about, and it develops a healthy 135 kilowatts and 430 newton meters of torque. Now on paper that doesn't sound like a lot. In fact, it sounds like this car is underpowered and all that, but thanks to the new turbocharger which they've added onto the engine, this car actually feels like it's a Toyota. I'd hate to say this, but it feels like a GD6 engine. Not quite sure whether I can put it against the 2.4, the 2.8, but there is no lag. There is sufficient power, there is sufficient torque. It actually pulls well, and it works well. It works well with the 6-speed automatic transmission. So I am really impressed with this engine. And when it comes to fuel consumption, you'll get around 9-10 if you're pulling or more, and I've been averaging 9.1. That is the best I could have achieved. I beg your pardon. Okay, so when it comes to ride quality, the Triton has a softened suspension when compared to the outgoing one, and you'd expect that to actually handle roads quite well. Well, it does for perfect roads. When you're driving along a stretch of road which doesn't have any undulations, and then just glides along, and once you start hitting roads that are imperfect, then you'll see that the suspension is quite bouncy, and at times you can feel unsettled, and it's not confidence inspiring, especially when traveling at highway speeds. And then once you go off-roading, or when you hit a gravel road like I did, I actually took it on a 20-kilometer gravel road expedition, and it didn't impress me at all. Flicked it into 4-high. 4-high took quite some time to engage, and which is not ideal for off-roading situations. And the suspension as well continued bouncing and hopping all over the place, and it made me feel uncomfortable. And once more, it wasn't really confidence inspiring to drive at speed. I was doing like 80 kilometers per hour. I had to really just drive at 50 kilometers per hour, which was quite embarrassing for me because there was a Navara cooking behind me and it was close by, and I was like, I'm driving a Mitsubishi Triton with off-road tires and a canopy and all that, and I can't handle the roads, the gravel roads, and it was quite embarrassing for me. With that said, also traveling on corrugated gravel roads, it almost washed me out. And what I mean by that, it actually changed the direction of the car. I mean, I was just driving along, and then I hit the corrugated roads and it changed direction. I was like, what? Chief, now I must fill insurance claim forms and all of that, just because you can't handle gravel road. No way, boy. But anyway, man, it isn't all too bad. They should just work on this suspension setup. Leaf spring, guys, come on. There's new setups as well. You must look at what your competitors are doing, and you must really improve on that, Mitsubishi, please, because I myself I'm always rooting for the underdogs, and unfortunately it didn't impress me at all. Okay, let's talk about the driver assistance systems. The only thing that I could actually mention right here is cruise control. It doesn't have adaptive cruise control, it doesn't have lane keep assist, doesn't have blind spot monitoring, and yeah, that's the old school bakkie that I was mentioning to you. So it's not really up to standard when you compare it to the Ranger, And even the Hilux also has radar cruise control, which is adaptive cruise control in some sense. So yeah, man, they should really up the ante on that as well. You know, give the P500 a run for its money, man. You can't be charging us close to 900K and you don't have adaptive cruise control. What, bro? Come on, let's work on that, Mitsubishi. So in a nutshell and in closing, is the new Triton Edition 46 worth its hefty price tag of just under 900,000 rands? Well, I've told you about the transmission and the suspension, the engine. I'm impressed by the engine and so the transmission, and the suspension is a bit not okay, and I actually think they should go back to the drawing board and rework the suspension for this facelift. Interior appointments are not too shabby for a bakkie. It's comfortable when you're driving on a long stretch of road without undulations, and the seats are supportive as well. And the sound system, I don't get to talk about that. It is a bakkie after all, and it is quite fair. And I really was rooting for the underdog. The Triton is often the forgotten bakkie in this segment, and I was really rooting for it. And is it worth, once more, its hefty 900,000 rand price tag? This is the range topping derivative once more, and I really do not think it is. And I think there are other bakkies like the Ford Ranger and even the P500 2.4 liter turbo diesel also, which offers a lot more in terms of the overall package, the safety, the advanced driver assistance systems, and then the power and the torque. Everything else is just, you know, more in terms of value for money when you're looking at the Ford Ranger XLT 4x4, as well as the P500 bakkie, which was also recently launched. So yeah, man, I'd recommend you guys to look at that if you're looking for a bakkie within that price range. Yeah, with that said, see you next time.